spreads seem to be prevailing on the world oil market today as crude oil prices ease back a bit. But when it comes to gas for our cars and heating oil for our homes, retail prices continue to rise. Good evening, everyone. I'm Amanda Hill.
And I'm Pat Callahan. The recent spike in prices, due in large part to the uncertainty surrounding the war in Ukraine, have certainly gotten the attention of Congress.
Before we get to that, let's take a look at today's numbers. As of this morning, the average price across Maine for a gallon of regular was $4.32 a gallon. That's the third straight day of record prices here in Maine, and 23 cents higher than the statewide average on Monday. As for where gasoline is cheapest right now, AAA says the best deals can be found in Aroostook, Somerset, Kennebec, Waldo, and Lincoln counties, where drivers are paying anywhere between $4.28 and $4.33 a gallon. The highest prices around $4.35 a gallon can be found in York, Cumberland, Androscoggin, and Franklin counties.
And as for heating oil, the cost to consumers is even higher. U.S. Energy Information Service numbers show that we were relatively stable in the weeks leading up to the invasion of Ukraine. Then there was a 10-cent bump in prices the week Russia invaded. And this week, retail heating oil prices have jumped 89 cents a gallon to an average of $4.72. Now, there has been talk about actions Congress could take to make us more energy independent for the long term. But it's unlikely Congress could act swiftly enough to make a difference right away. 2nd District Congressman Jared Golden and some of his colleagues have sent a letter to President Biden outlining steps they want him to take immediately, because this problem is likely to get worse before it gets better.
Our decision to ban Russian oil imports is only going to, I think, shake up global markets even worse. So we're already nearing $5. I think we're going higher.
Congressman Jared Golden says proposals from the left about going all in on renewable energy and from the right about restarting the Keystone Pipeline project won't help the country get the relief it needs right now. Golden and several colleagues have sent a bipartisan letter to President Biden asking him to take some steps now, steps that don't need congressional approval. First, they want the administration to provide financial certainty to oil and gas producers by making a 3-year purchase commitment, which can address our current and future needs in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
What I am hearing is that a lot of these companies are hesitant to make investments today that could help us 3 months or 6 months or 12 months down the road, because if this emergency goes away, if prices come down, they feel like they'll be caught holding the bag of holding those investments with plunging demand.
Second, they want the president to invoke the Defense Production Act, as President Trump did at the start of the pandemic, to provide financial incentives to the private sector to ensure access to materials needed to boost production.
If they're saying we can't ramp up production because of supply chain issues, the White House has the authority. The president has that Defense Production Act that Congress gave to him. He can say, we can force companies to sell and prioritize sales to you and do everything we can, essentially, move heaven and earth as best as the United States government is capable of to work with you to get you what you need.
Finally, they want President Biden to convene a summit of energy producers, oil and gas companies, renewable energy groups, and distributors. Congressman Golden says the president should appeal to their patriotism.
Bring them in. Let's be partners, right, for the good of the country. I think probably in the short term, the most important thing that they can do is send signals not only to those oil companies but to their investors that they have a partner in the United States government with a common goal.
Now, the congressman points out that domestic oil production is still below pre-pandemic levels, and yet says there are more than 9,000 approved but unused oil drilling permits, as well as natural gas pipelines that could be brought online.